how weird is it to be talking on a Monday?
It's extremely strange.
Mm-hmm. It's spring here, kind of. It feels like one of the first sort of spring days, and I feel like it's a new beginning. And then, so it feels appropriate for me to be doing something weird.
Yeah, I'm with you. That feels like the sun. Well, partly because daylight savings time, probably, but the sun feels different. Like it feels, it's like different position in the sky, and it's putting off more heat, and I can sense it. There's still snow on the ground, but I can sense spring is coming, and I'm very excited about this.
Yeah, totally. I pinged you over the weekend and was like, yeah, well, what if we like doubled up? Because I was talking to Brian or Jordan, and I was like, yo, I wish you guys just recorded more podcasts. And then I was like, well, I should probably also record more podcasts too.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Exactly.
Something.
Yeah. And I was just like, well, I want more podcasts of like, two people talking about their businesses. So I know how to make more of that happen, at least in some regard.
I'm glad that there seems to be sufficient demand for it too. I'm pretty psyched about that.
That is pretty cool. Thanks to all of you for paying attention and caring. That's exciting. What would we do different if we had 2 listeners?
We would just invite them on the call.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, exactly. Because this would just be a stand-up.
Yep, exactly.
I like that. All right, well, let's just say we have too many listeners for that to be feasible, so I guess we should keep doing the podcast.
Yeah, I don't know if can Tuple handle thousands of people at the same time?
No, definitely not.
Not quite. Okay. All right.
Although we are now out of alpha into beta.
Oh, nice.
Which is a completely arbitrary designation.
I was gonna ask.
So much better.
How do you define what the difference is between alpha and beta?
I feel like alpha is like this could like fall apart at any moment and you should not be surprised. And beta is like this could fall apart every once in a while and you can be a little surprised, I guess.
Okay. All right. So just an arbitrary marker of stability.
Stability and also just like feature availability. For us, it kind of came down to like what percentage of people are having crash-free sessions, and also like what features have we got in there? Like, are we missing things that feel like this can't really call this a beta until we have X? And so we made a list of those and built them, and then here we are.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And I suppose if you were Google, you would leave that label on for about a decade or so.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Wasn't Gmail was in beta for like 10 years or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That, like we said, it's arbitrary, so we could just decide that we're eternally in beta. It is an arbitrary designation for sure, and like we just get to decide when we've crossed it. But people do use it for sort of opting in and out. I've said like, "Hey, do you want to join our beta?" And people are like, "No, we'll use it when it's launched." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, like that. I've chosen a moniker for this that sort of reflects sort of where it's at, and you've decided that's not what you want. So like, this is kind of working as intended, actually."
Yeah, I kind of steered away from labels like that, but I feel like it might have benefited me to kind of more clearly denote where it's at, because when I set my January deadline, I was like, this is basically a V1 product that's ready to be used and paid for. And certainly there were some small teams that could use it, but there was a lot to add to it to be probably even more feasible for a little bit larger teams. And so I feel like maybe I could have benefited from communicating that more clearly, because now it feels like the product has progressed so much, but it's still, I'm not really presenting it any different way. So it's like, maybe I can retroactively like label it as, this is a new milestone. It's like V2 or something. I don't know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Or you could just be like, hey, we're out of alpha now.
Yeah. Yeah, could be. They'd be like, oh, didn't know you were in it. It's like, me neither.
Yep. We're all learning things today.
Yeah.
We're in onboarding mode. So I spent February selling people on their first month to start in March, because I guess we were focusing on sort of stability and getting out of alpha for February. And now it's time. So I just invited, I think it was 4 or 5 teams today, and there are more to invite. There's a queue that I'm working my way through. But we finally have this way of like onboarding people in a way where that I don't need to go create accounts for everyone and email every single person and set their password manually in the console and like all this goofiness. So like now, like I want to invite a team. It's like generate link, send link to champion person at thing, done. It's like
nice.
Kind of amazing.
That's cool. Who built that? Did you build that or did someone else?
It was a joint effort. I took the first pass at it, and then Joel or Spencer finished it off. Mm-hmm. I got distracted by other things.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool. So these people, are they purchased in February with a March start date. Is that basically
Correct.
how it went? Okay.
Yep. So I basically had them prepay for their first month to get on the list.
Okay.
And then as we onboard them, we are setting sort of like what the next build date will be.
Got it.
Yep.
And where are these people coming from? Like the people who bought in February? Do you just have inbound interest, people reaching out to you, or how are you?
Yeah, it actually has basically been all inbound.
Okay.
I'm embarrassed to say.
It's a great problem to have.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. So basically, we have an email list, and the first thing you get when you join the email list is like a question, like a survey. And I'm like, hey, like I'd love to know even more about you. I think the last time I looked at that, something like 20 to 30% of people filled it out, maybe in that order. One of the questions on there, so we asked like, what's your title? How much pain are you experiencing with your current pairing tools? How often do you pair? Do you have at least 3 people that might want to join our paid beta? And so if you have the right answers to those questions, I reach out to you. And basically, all of these people have been through that. Minus just a couple. Sometimes people just DM me, which is also great. Hi, like we want to try the thing. Can we buy the thing? And I'm like, yeah, generally yes. So we're sort of like invite only mode, but you can kind of raise your hand to be like, hey, I'm a really good candidate. And then I'm like, well, we do want those. So
yeah. One of my like high level to-dos once I can get off of cranking out product features all day and all night. My next thing is I want to try to recruit, like more proactively recruit some more teams like my key team that I'm working with right now. But it's actually not entirely clear to me what the best way to approach this is. So I have a decently large list of people who have reserved handles, but they're not like really pre-qualified beyond that. So I'm guessing a subset of them are just folks who would be a user, but not necessarily an account owner in level. So there's like, a subset of those are people who actually are decision makers on teams or whatever. I mean, first step for tapping that list would be to somehow retroactively pre-qualify them. So I don't know if it's like sending out a survey and asking folks to basically raise their hand off that list, but I don't want to send it to the whole list. So I don't know if like random sampling or approaching the people who came in first, which are now they've been on there a while. So now they're really cold to me,
Also, there's no random sampling feature in Drip.
Well, I would have to do that off Drip.
I see. Gotcha.
Use the old spreadsheet.
Do you know what I do when I want to do this? Is like I try to like find the segment that gets roughly the right amount of people I want by being like, email does not contain P but does contain F kind of thing.
Yes.
I just fiddle with
it. That is a known hack that others have used.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of nice to give people the opportunity to raise their hand and be like, I'm a good prospect. You should spend your time on me. If you didn't want to send it to everyone and you thought you had a good enough sense of the company archetype that you knew would work, you could use like Clearbit's enrichment tool on your email list and get some information about the companies involved.
Yeah, that could be interesting. I could also do like not working through the list. I could just put out a call, on this podcast or on Twitter to be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is who I'm looking for. You are someone who's willing to pay for this tool. You have more than like 2 people on your team and whatever other criteria I'm looking for, and just basically kind of summarize, if this is you, reach out to me and let's do this.
Yeah.
So that's another option too. It's just like,
I think you probably want to shout it from a couple different places, because even the people that say they're interested, a bunch of those will fail to go anywhere, and you'll weed out a bunch of them. So like you probably want to start like hopefully to start with a good number of them to actually end up with 1 or 2 that make it all the way through.
And I've really become convinced that, and maybe it's just from the amount of time I've been doing this and the stage I'm at, but it's like I have no qualms now about asking folks to pay. Like no more free trials. I don't want to do it. If you look at the numbers, like Level is not that expensive unless you're a giant team. Even to ask you to pay, a team of 10 pay $80 a month, like that's nothing compared to the amount of time and effort that's being put into this product. So,
For sure.
Yeah.
Good. Well, that's a good mindset to have, I think. Yeah, I told you we got rid of our free trial, and that has been going fine. We have been doing some pricing changes recently. Like we're always testing new pricing, but it actually kind of feels like now we have hit upon a thing that is getting a yes a lot. A big part of that was just like lowering it. I was at the edge of the curve where it's like, yes, the very well off companies can afford to buy this, and the numbers seem reasonable to them, and they expect an enterprise sales process, and they have a security audit and all that stuff. And so you can make a business on those companies. I mean, like, it's not the most fun ever. And we were just getting way more no's than yeses because of price. And so I was like, spending time on all these leads and going back and forth and whatnot, and like, I'm just getting a lot of pushback on the numbers we're asking for. I had a conversation with a guy, and he was like, all right, so I have like 50 engineers. Let's just imagine I rolled this out to everyone. That would be the most expensive thing our company pays for by like 3x on an annual basis.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. That
doesn't sound quite right.
Doesn't sound right. So tweaks have been made. We're testing some sort of new pricing that's lower for sure, but also with kind of like an easier to get into kind of thing. I'm lowering the amount I'm asking for per seat, and that has helped a bunch. But also I started pitching people on a flat rate to get your entire team in for the first month. So a thing that kept happening was people, even the ones that were not price sensitive, would be like, cool, sounds good. We're going to start with 2 and see how it goes. And it's like, that's just not as good as it could be. Like, that's just like, a lot of people wanted to start with 2 people, and they have, 10, 12, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but like, you're going to like it more if more people can use it. And if like the 2 that you give it to don't like it, then this deal is dead. But if you gave it to 10 people and 4 of them ended up using it regularly, you can just pay for 4. That's fine. Now I've been pitching a flat dollar amount. No matter how many people you add, just add everyone. And then at the end of the month, we'll just see like who's left, who's still using it, who wants it, and we'll bill you for that.
Did you consider, instead of flat, like just a discounted per seat price, so it still scales variable to the team size, or did it just make more sense to do flat?
Yeah, no, I hadn't thought about that. That probably would still get approved about as much, right? As long as it were like a pretty big discount. But then I feel like it triggers that same thing, which is like, let me find out who wants to use it, who wants to try it, who should be on the list. And so I was basically going to like a busy, engineering leader and being like, hey, go on Slack, start a Google Sheet, ask everyone who's interested to put their email on it, decide whether or not you want the designers on there or not, ask maybe the project managers, like just all these decisions and kind of like, unsurety, and just like, go do stuff for me. And now it's like, here's a fairly trivial amount of money. Give it to everyone. Whoever wants to keep using it, we'll talk about afterwards.
I like that. It'll be interesting to see if something like that makes sense for Level eventually, once I have, sufficiently large teams wanting to try it out. I could see a similar dynamic happening where it's like, well, and same with Level, like you're not going to see the results unless you really try. You go as all in as you can and really pilot it.
Right. Yeah.
So
you have a big hurdle to get them over already. So if you can make pricing not an objection in the first month, that might be a useful thing for you. So far I've pitched this new pricing scheme to, I think, like 4 people, and all 4 said yes. And this is unseen. So this is like, I haven't done a demo with them. They haven't even used the app. And so now it's like, we're starting to hit the point where it's like, okay, like I can actually close these just like with an email. And so like, maybe they don't convert as well to the next stage. That would not surprise me if that were true. But it's like, suddenly I've kind of unblocked sales from a like lead flow, at least, or like into the next stage of the pipeline. I don't know where we'll eventually end up, but like this is feeling righter than anything has so far. Also, very annoyingly, a few months back, I emailed Rob, a little known person, operator in the space. I was like, hey, what do you think we should charge for pricing? And he was like, just going off my gut, I'd say this. And I was like, we could charge way more than that. Rob's wrong. I'm closing deals at way more than that. Why would I leave so much money on the table? And the price that we're charging now is like exactly what he said. The one we finally come to is like, oh, damn it. Well, oh well.
I applaud you for all your testing you've done, because that's, the Patrick McKenzie meme of raise your prices. Like that is a meme because people don't do it enough, and you always tend to price too low. So
sure, yes, totally. Yep, and right, and I'm glad we explored the space, and the interesting thing is now I know. It's like before I was like so on the charge more train, where I was just like, yeah, obviously, like duh, like some people will pay twice as much and they don't care at all. Why would you be an idiot and not do that? And now I'm realizing like that a higher price point is a different kind of customer and a different kind of sales process, and you don't necessarily want that. Like it's not all good. if you're paying certain dollar amounts, people expect things like demos, like free trials, like, all these audits and things like that. Like we'll see, like once it's like actually like converting these people to normal subscriptions, like if it actually just continues to be kind of painless. If at the end of the subscription they're like, oh, and now we have our huge obnoxious process you have to get through to keep paying, like, oh wait, okay, maybe this doesn't work how I thought it would. But it's been interesting for me to kind of experience the high end of that curve and then to drop it down and see what that feels like. And like we're just gonna kind of keep dialing it in and try to end up somewhere that makes sense for us.
Yeah, it's like you're doing aspirational pricing, like price for the type of customer that you want to have.
Yeah,
in a
totally.
sense, right?
Yeah. I quoted this new price to somebody and he was like, oh wow, nice, I respect that. Like way to charge that amount. And I was like, because it's so low? And he's like, no, it's so high. And I was like, yeah. It's like, just so you know, like this is not the high version of the price.
Yeah.
So.
That's funny. You have no idea where I've been.
Yeah, exactly. But it was just great. He was still like, I was like, oh, nice. Like way to charge, a healthy amount. And I was like, right. Yep. Sure. Cool.
That's funny.
Yeah. So that feels pretty good. I'm interested to see how that plays out.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
I hope Rob doesn't end up being completely right. That'd be very rude of him.
Well, wasn't he already, or is this?
Well, I mean,
you're just waiting to declare success.
Just exactly. Yeah. The initial signs are positive, so we'll see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But he might know some things. Turns out
he might. He's been around the block.
Yeah. So just a couple more things for me. One is we added a new thing that two new things that I'm psyched about. One is the ability to control the resolution of the call from the guest's side, which I think is kind of cool. So there's a little drop down on the tuple window, and it's like if the connection's really good, you can bump up and like to like a really high resolution. And if it's not so good, you can bump it down. And so if you want to like have a really sharp display because you're not doing much remote work, you can just do that. And if you want to have really fast latency because you're typing a lot, you can tweak that as well. And that was just like one of those things I've wanted to have get out for a while, and it's live, and it just feels really good.
Very nice. And is this a differentiator type of feature? Like, can you do this in any other tool that you know of?
I don't think so. I'm not aware of any other tool that let you do that.
Yeah. And that's what's especially cool about this, because it feels like it's very unique.
Yeah. I was excited about that all weekend. It's funny, like I think we put it out like on Thursday or Friday, and just like I just felt happier over the weekend knowing like a good thing has shipped in the product. Like I'm psyched that we have this there. That's cool. The top resolution is just uncompressed, basically. It's like whatever your host's native resolution is, and we called it ludicrous mode. Mm-hmm. As an homage to Tesla.
Nice.
Yeah. So we have a question in our retro, which is, how is the product better than last week? Which I think is kind of worth talking about. And I'm glad that's there. But one thing that I added recently was, how is the company better than last week? Because there's so much other stuff that we have to build to make like a really legit company. It's like terms of service, privacy policy, help desk software, like writing things down. Just like has anyone written a list of all the services we're paying for and how much that costs and all this stuff? Just like there's a lot of like things that you got to do that's the company part of the software company. I wanted to make sure we were like paying attention to that too, because those are important wins as well, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's healthy to look at those things as vital pieces and not just like annoyances or like things that are not actually important. Like it's easy to put the product up on a pedestal and say like, well, as long as we're making product progress, everything else is just a cruft that we have to deal with. But it's all important to build a well-oiled machine. So
right. And it's a big machine, and the product is a part of the machine, but there's a bunch of other parts too. And they can even get dwarfed by the rest of the parts. Even just like security questionnaires, man. Filling out security questionnaires sucks. Like we should have a white paper. Like this is one answer that people do. Like they write up a white paper that has a bunch of just their answers to this question, and you can just respond with that, and maybe it's enough. And it's like, okay, yeah, like someone should do that. That's part of building the company part. It's not the product. And that would be a useful thing for the sales process and all that stuff. But like, so let's make sure we do things like that and also like recognize that that's worthy work too.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, what's up in your world?
Last time we recorded, I talked about being close to shipping the notifications feature, and that did make it out on Friday.
Shipping before the weekend.
Yeah, I had a similarly, like I was kind of riding on a high over the weekend because I got it shipped, and I said I wanted to get it done by Friday, and I did. I felt good about that. It was after my team was already mostly logged off for the day, so I didn't really get any initial reactions last week, but that was fine. Like I did a round of polish over the weekend when I had a few hours here and there. And this morning, kind of got hit with a barrage of little pieces of feedback and a few bug fixes and things. So I spent most of today kind of fixing little things that were not functioning so well with the notifications. Yeah, it really helps to have a team that's immediately responding to things they're seeing. So like for example, I had a notification would get listed in your feed anytime another person acknowledged a reply that was authored by someone else on a post that you're subscribed to. So like, if there's 3 people participating in a conversation and you thumbs up, Joe's post, then I would see a notification about that. And it was like unanimous from everyone on their team, like, this is great, but I hate seeing these. I don't want to see these. And everyone is just piling on like, yep, don't want to see it. I could build up like a rationale as to why that should maybe be in there. Like maybe you're interested in that happening, but it was like pretty unanimous. Like, nope, don't want it. So you could just be so much more confident making decisions when you have like real users giving you that kind of feedback. So
100%. Yeah, that's so nice. How happy does that team seem?
I think getting happier with the product. Yeah. I'm seeing fewer complaints about things, and the things that are pointed out that are negative are generally smaller in scope, like less fundamental. And it was cool. I got someone who is a member of a different team, a smaller team that's using Level, tweeted their praise of Level earlier today too. So that was cool to see. It was like, yeah, it took a little while to get used to, but now I'm really starting to get it, and it's feeling really good and much better than Slack. So
wow,
it's exactly what I want to hear.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know if any of these teams that are using it have ditched Slack?
I think some of the smaller ones have. I think my team of 10 is still using it for some very specific use cases. Like they have a bunch of integrations piping in just like a stream of notifications from another app. And I think that they are still keeping some things like that in Slack, but for the most part off. So yeah,
that seems like like maybe one of your golden metrics kind of thing.
It's like, have you switched off?
What's your switching rate, and like what keeps the people that don't switch on the old thing?
Yeah, that's good. That's product. I'm this week hoping to finish some smaller things, but also step aside from product a little bit and put some attention towards recruiting that next cohort of folks to start paying and really start trying it out.
Nice. When does your team of 10 rebill? Do you know when they pay their next subscription month?
So this team is actually not currently paying. They were on one of the pre-orders, and one of the first to kind of step up and be like, yes, we're going to go all in on this. So they were still they came in during the phase where I was like still extending trials to folks with the thing of like, once you're getting value out of the product, I will start charging you. And so I think arguably they're at the phase right now where I need to have that conversation and talk about what does it look like for getting them on a subscription. I think they'd be open to it, but I need to have that conversation. Yeah.
That sounds worth doing.
For sure.
Because that'll either be, yep, yeah, we like it. Let's do it. Here's a credit card. Or, well, there's this thing. Like it's gonna uncover things. It's gonna tell you where you're really at. But if it tells you you're at a place that's not where they don't feel like it's worth paying for yet, they can at least tell you why.
Right. And
this is how I justify it in my head as I force people into a decision like this that I don't necessarily want to hear the answer to. It's like, okay, well, if it's bad, at least we'll get some data. We'll get feedback.
Yeah. I guess the only thing that gives me pause about it, which I've pretty much gotten over this entirely, is just that like especially with this team, I've worked with them for a while. They've given me a lot of feedback, and they're becoming more and more entrenched in it as they've kind of modified their usage patterns and bought into it completely. So if they weren't in a position where they felt like they were ready to pay, I kind of have them locked in a sense because they've put in all this effort to switch over to it. So I want to be careful not to like take advantage of that fact or exploit that by saying like, well, now that you've spent all this time, if you don't feel comfortable paying, like if I can kind of force that decision, and I don't want to force a decision. I want them to be happily starting to pay, if that makes sense.
Definitely. Although that I'm not sure that like reasoning follows super clearly to me, where it's like they're getting too much value from it or something. Like they're using it too much. So if I told them they had to pay for it, then they would have to use something else or something.
Well, no, it would be like yeah, we think level has great potential. There's a lot that we still want to see changed in it, but like it's getting there for us. And if I'm like, cool, now's the time to start paying me, or I'm going to shut off your account, like that would be like, I just want them to feel ready, you know?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I think if you've pitched them as like, you should start paying me when it's delivering you value, you could just ask, be like, are you getting value from this? Yes, no. And then like the sort of next step is pretty clear based on that answer. And you're not like being a jerk. You're just saying like, remember that thing we agreed to? Like, I'm just checking in on it.
No, there's definitely a way to approach it. That's, I think, feels right to me, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Get that money.
Yep. Totally.
Got to pay those bills sometime. Cool. Anything else going on in your world?
No, I think that's it. I mean, I'm traveling this week too, going back to visit family in California. So
Nice.
we'll see how much I actually get done. But the plan is to still try to get some work in. So
Nice.
we'll see how that goes.
I was just commenting on Twitter that like Brian Castle takes a ridiculous amount. He does so many trips. It's like every time he's on Bootstrap Web, it's like, well, I'm going to be in X, next week for a couple days. He's so good at that. I need to take advantage of my remote friendliness more, I think. Like I have some stuff in the works that I'm hoping to do that are on the like longer trips, but I just feel like that, like I'm gonna be in Florida Thursday through Tuesday just because I can, because it's great. Like why not take the good parts of the remote thing for sure.
Totally. And like because we're in a position where it can be a workcation, it doesn't have to be a drop everything and go take days off at a time. You can still. It's the beauty of our industry. You can just work from anywhere. So. Yeah, I feel like I need to do that more too.
Well, let's agree to take more vacations.
Yes, I can get on board with that.
This will be what the Monday episodes are like. It's us like it's laid back, and then Thursday is who knows, whatever. So speaking of upcoming episodes, this time next week, Ben Curtis is going to be our guest. First of all, Ben is an interesting guy. So were you familiar with Rails kits back in the day?
Yeah,
does that name ring a bell? So he made Rails kits, which was like a great idea. They were like pre-made Rails apps, basically, that you could buy that are already like tailored for doing a thing, which is good stuff. And then after that, he started Honey Badger. He's one of the co-founders of Honey Badger, which I feel a deep affinity towards after realizing they are three people who started when a large incumbent kind of went off the rails, and their intention is to stay small and just provide a good, profitable service.
I see some parallels there.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, this is our spirit. This is our sister company. They just don't know it yet. So Ben is going to come on the podcast next week. And I think this is sort of how I pitch it to you, which is like Mondays, maybe we do interviews. Thursdays, maybe we do updates, just because there might not be quite enough to talk about if we didn't have like a little bit of a cadence like that.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, cool. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see you in a few days.
Awesome. Yeah.
All right. Show notes.
Show notes can be found at
artofproductpodcast.com/Monday.
I don't know.
No, don't go there. That's it. Don't go to that URL.
Dead URL.
All right. Thanks for listening.
See ya.